Look, just for our viewers' benefit, because it's very hard, and in Australia people are very interested in this, but just for your benefit who are watching us here, the latest case being heard in Miami, as I said, does involve these 37 federal charges that Peggy alluded to relating to Trump's handling of classified documents. Now, I'll come to that again in a moment because, as I told you last night, many former presidents, and of course Hillary Clinton, who bid to be president, actually handled classified documents. And as I said last night, a president can declassify. A vice president can't. So there were documents in Biden's garage which weren't declassified. However, this matter in Miami then is separate from the matter Donald Trump is facing in New York. Peggy just made that point. The matter in Miami is a federal issue. The New York issue is a state issue. So the penalties out of Miami are very, very significant. So Peggy and I have talked about this many, many times, the case in New York. This is brought by this Manhattan District Attorney, Alvin Bragg, who's a Trump hater, involving allegations relating to hush money paid to a porn star, but it also includes allegations that Donald Trump might have falsified business records. Now, Donald Trump's pleaded not guilty to all of those charges, but in relation to New York, he could face trial in New York in March next year. Now, this is Peggy's point about the Biden motivation behind this. That would be right in the middle of presidential primaries. So Donald Trump would be in a courtroom in New York while his political opponents are mobilising the electorate and addressing people. So Trump would be denied campaigning opportunities. Now, he's also at the centre of two other investigations, yet another Department of Justice probe into his role in the January 6th storming of the Capitol, and an inquiry by officials in the state of Georgia about alleged election interference. Peggy, just back to you, having seen all of this, it is almost impossible to know what to make of what is a pile-on by Biden, the Democrats, the Department of Justice and the FBI to rub Trump out.
Right. And, we all agree that no one is above the law. And so we're not saying that criminals shouldn't be pursued for their crimes. But what we are saying is, if you look at violations of the Presidential Records Act, it goes back to Lyndon Johnson, President Obama, President Clinton, and of course, Joe Biden. And we know Hillary Clinton had her own problems with classified documents. And out of all of those, who's the only one that has been charged with any of it is Donald Trump. But interestingly enough, out of these 37 charges brought forward, 31 of them were actually filed under the Espionage Act, not the Presidential Records Act, which means there's a higher burden of proof for the prosecution. They're not only going to have to prove that he mishandled these documents, but that there was an intent to harm or damage the United States of America, which is a really high bar. And not included in the indictment anywhere was who was harmed, what was the risk. They did not outline exactly that case to be made for the Espionage Act. And so to your earlier point, maybe part of this is to make it sound big and bad and scary, and they've already achieved their goal by having the appearance of criminality. And to tie Donald Trump up in the process is the pain. They want him disqualified. They want him discouraged. They don't want him back in the Oval Office. And they're doing everything they can in every state and way that they can to keep that from happening.
Absolutely. And of course, he has said that he will continue to stand. Here is Donald Trump after leaving the court in Miami earlier this morning, our time. He stopped at a popular Cuban restaurant, Versailles, after leaving the courthouse. He understandably describes the federal court case against him as a rigged deal. Here is Donald Trump.
I think it's going great. I think it's a rigged deal here. We have a rigged country. We have a country that's corrupt. We have a country that's got no borders. We have a country that's got nothing but problems. We're a nation in decline, and then they do this stuff. And you see where the people are. We love the people, and you see where they are. You see the crowds and everything else. We have a country that is in decline like never before, and we can't let it happen. I'm going to make a little speech tonight in Bedminster, and I hope you're going to be there.
I tell you what, the bloke's got guts, and good on him for standing up. This is extraordinary stuff. This is all about politics. It's all about the fact that Trump is not part of the left, and he's taking them on, and they'll mobilise every instrument available. For those people, Peggy, though, who follow American politics, it's very hard not to feel that a massive campaign is being launched by political opponents using every instrument of government in order to stop Trump from becoming president again. Even though, as I've said, there is nothing, I just repeat this, in the Constitution of the United States which says that someone who is indicted, not only indicted but convicted, can't run for president. So Donald Trump could run for president from jail, and I suspect if that's what they do to him, he will do that.